Hi everyone, it is Marie here from the Sable Society. If you are here, it is because you're a Sable. Sable means you have stash acquired beyond life expectancy. Doesn't matter what that stash is. It could be yarn, it could be fibre, it could be fabric. Oh, I mean, what do they say? Collectors. Once a collector, always a collector. Welcome along. My name is Marie Busky. If you like anything that I do that thing that we all ask you to do, which is press like or subscribe. It does make a difference. So do that for us here with the channel, and also check out everything else I do on socials, which is under the event Knit August Nights, to which this is all attached to. So welcome along. If you've been following the adventures of late, you will see that I have recently returned from Australia, having launched Knit August Nights into its Australian Anzac counterpart called Knit Australia Nights. I am madly now planning the next one, which we are, fingers crossed, going to get off the ground in Adelaide or the surrounds in April, third weekend in April. So that's where we're aiming for at this stage. I'm just going through talking to a whole heap of venues and trying to get something that I literally don't need to sell a body part in order to afford. But I am dogmatic. I will find something, trust me. I will see if I can find something that will work. So yeah, make sure that you signed up for the newsletter through Knit August Nights. If you go to that page, knitaugustnights.co.nz, there is actually a place where you can sign up for the newsletter there, and that will give you all the details that you need to know. But with all of that said, I thought I would come and catch up with you today for a longer form video. It's been a few weeks, just to let you know what we've been up to and what I've been up to over the last little bit, other than organising the second Knit Australia Nights. It is also less than a month now from Knit August Nights here in Napier. Pretty much everything is locked and loaded. I just need to go, probably next week I'll go and see the venue. Almost all the classes are sold out. I've got spaces left in smocking, which is the first time I've ever had that class. If you know someone who is a sewist, or you know someone who would like to pick up a skill for learning how to smock, it is completely suitable for beginners. You don't need to be registered for the actual event itself, event registration, to be able to do that class. It is actually open for everybody. So you can just go to the website and book that. So there are spaces in that. And then on Friday afternoon, I literally have only a handful of spaces left on 3 classes there. 1 left in sensational shawls, 1 left in to die for, and I think there's 3 maybe left in double knitting, which is the double faced knitting technique. And that is it. That is it. We're done and dusted. So if you just want to do a registration to come and hang out for 3 days, most welcome, because people do that. Honestly, they do that, and they have an absolute whale of a time. It'll get you a goodie bag, it gets you entrance, you can do shopping, and if you want to come and do that, by all means. But if you're just a local, or you're in the area, the event is open to the public on the Sunday morning, which I think is the 30th, Sunday the 30th, the last Sunday in August. It is open to the public at East Pier, and there'll be a market going on there. There'll be about a dozen or more stands, all selling amazing things, including me. So yeah, come along. 3 hours, it's open, 9 till 12. Come and check it out. And again, follow the socials if you want to know what's going on there. So that's all the canned stuff out of the way. What am I working on? So this is the Cow. I'm actually really happy with it. I am going to write this up. It's on the round to it. It's in the round to it plan. And I will get round to it. I have written the notes into, it's a very simple stitch repeat. I just need to find an hour or 2 to do it. I do want to re-knit it as well, just to make sure that, you know, the notes that I wrote are correct, because it's not the sort of thing that's worth sending out for testing. So I will actually do that, but I'm super happy with it. I think it looks great in this, and it's done in a one-off, a solo skeins yarn that I picked up. Oh gosh, I think it was the tail end of Epic Sale, but I picked up about 3 bags of it. Of this yarn. It was called Chinchilla 10 ply, just a mixed blended yarn, and I knitted a sweater for my son in this yarn, and this is what was left over. So I've actually even still got enough to make another one if I needed to. So that is this. Yes, so I'll definitely do this, and I have actually blocked it now too, and it still looks great once it's blocked. Yeehaw. What else have I been doing? Oh look, my dog's going to come around for a visit. Hey buddy. You gonna sit? Rufus, sit. This is what happens when you do this. Rufus, sit. Good boy. This is what I'm gonna do this so you guys can see him. There he is. Rufy, gonna say hello to everybody? Say hello to everyone, Rufus. You go, hi. My name is Rufus and I'm 9.5. I'm an English Mastiff, and as you can see by the distinguished salt and pepper in my muzzle, I am a very senior dog, and I am also 100 kilos and completely blind. So that's why I have to do this and touch him, because he can hear me talking to you, but of course he doesn't realise that I've got other things going. Okay, down, buddy. Rufus, down. This is what I get for doing this in the living room and not out of my shed. And the reason I'm not out of my shed is it's really cold out there. If you've been following the socials over the last little bit, oh, I'm just going to move this. There we go. If you've been following the socials over the last little bit, you'll see that whilst I was in Bendigo, I went to the Australian Sheep and Wool Show, and Ashford always had a big stand there. Love the team at Ashford's. Hadn't seen Libby from Ashford's in years. Have had lots to do with her over the years, have done multiple shows with her when I was with Skeins. She's good people. They have an amazing stand, and they were super busy while we were there. So it was awesome to be able to go over, and she had, they always have a whole bunch of spinning wheels lined up. And of course I was with Libby Johnson from Truly Myrtle, and Libby's been playing around with the thought of a double treadle spinning wheel, so she wanted to play around on the Ashford Joy, and I'm a real traddy girl, and in fact, yeah, there you go, there's my traddy sitting behind us. I'm a real traddy girl, and they had the latest model just of the traddy, and they've got a slightly different tensioning system that they use now. It's like a string-based tensioning system, whereas this one is, gosh, I got this when my youngest son was born, and he's now 18, so this traddy's really, yeah, 18, coming up 20 years old. So I thought, oh, that's new tensioning system. And I'm not a huge hand spinner. Like, I know how to spin, and I love it. And I forgot how much I'd loved it. And it was the first time I'd spun anything in about nearly 3 years. And it's just time and life and what have you. And honestly, I sat there, it was hilarious, you know, and then I had other people coming to watch me spin. And then they were asking me questions, and I think they thought I worked there. And so I'm talking about the wheels, and then I think one of them went over, you know, I was doing my sales thing, you know, because it's, you know, you take a girl to Newcastle, she's going to sell coal. And I forgot how much I missed spinning, just the physical action of the treadling, the drafting, the moving, the spinning. All of you out there who are hand spinners will know it's not necessarily about the final product with spinning. Spinning's all about the journey, baby. It's all about the journey. It's all about knowing that you have a destination that you're going to get to, but you know what? When you get there, it just doesn't matter. And I missed that, really missed it. So I got back to New Zealand. I dug the traddy out, because the traddy was actually out in the shed, which is where I do all my recording for Sable Society and the day job now. So I've got a sleep out / studio out there. So I went out there and dug the traddy out, and gave her a bit of TLC. She needed an oiling and you know, a good old dust and a clean, and a restring, and all of those things that you need to do to give your wheel a bit of love. And I have to say, they're so well made. The craftsmanship is amazing. And yeah, she was rocking and rolling. So then the next thing I needed to do was like, oh gosh, Marie, do you still have any fibre? Because I wasn't too sure about that fact. However, I recently did a stash organisation, which I had done to free up some space actually in this room here. And I knew I had a big bag of a couple of big project bags which were stuffed full of fibre, and I couldn't really remember what was in them, but I knew that they'd been rationalised and popped in a bin and popped away. So I went up, dug them out of storage, and it was kind of like Fibre Christmas. all over again. Do you ever get that? You know, where you dive into stash and then you find yarns that you purchased maybe a decade, 2 decades ago. You think to yourself, oh, okay, why did I do that? That's not really where I thought I would go with that yarn. Or you think, woohoo, this is Fibre Christmas. Or you get excited, or you think to yourself, where on earth? I don't remember acquiring that. Anyway, this is what this was like, Fibre Christmas. Even found some bats which are so beautiful. I can't even remember where I bought them now, but they're so beautiful. And I thought I'd potentially had sold them, but I still had them. So anyhow, there was some Ashford fibre there, which was this beautiful sort of toffee coloured with silk that they had. And I also had a purple version of that. And I had some alpaca, I think it was alpaca merino Arapawa blend, which was just some rovings that I had left over from skeins, which I'd hand spun, and I didn't realise I still had some figure rovings of that sitting there. So the two of those really complementary with each other colour wise. So I went hard out, and before I knew it, over 3 days, I'd knocked off 2 huge bobbins and then plied it, and ta-da, that is the product of my spinning. So as you can see, she's not completely perfect. She's a little thick and thin in places, but that's what makes hand spinning special, right? I'm delighted with it. So delighted with it. And I mean, just such character. I have this funny thing. It doesn't matter how much I try. I'm not one of these amazing people like Annette Montgomery, who comes to Cannes, who makes the amazing art yarns. And Annette can literally spin anything. She is like freaking the noise. This is it for me. Like, I only do spinning in one weight. And it seems to be this light, sort of heavy sport like DK place. All the spinning I've done over the years, once I got into the groove of it, this is what it ends up like, always. And it doesn't matter, because I can work with this, because here is, I think I showed you this to you in the last episode. This is what I bought from Great Ocean Road. Look at that! Peas and carrots, as Forrest Gump would say. Look at that. Oh, so good. So that's what I got from them. This is, I can't even remember what this was. This was an alpaca, I think, woolen spun blend from them. I'm so seeking those two working together. I did also get that guy from Swish Yarns, colour-wise, but it's a wee bit finer, so I'll pop that off to one side. But I did dive into Stash. Do you remember these from Skeins, Incognito? So Incognito were yarns that we'd picked up from various suppliers around the world. Often they were clearing out the last of batches or what have you. There was a few that we did this with. This one I know it comes from North America. And I think, from memory, there we go, it is 60% merino, 40% Romney. And it's in that twofold construction, of course, which is just like a hand-spun construction. So I put those three together, and I'm feeling a colour story coming on. And of course, you know I love my sort of tessellated patterning, which I do with the Harding Road patterns, but there's something going on here. And I've got one of these, which you only need one of these. I've got 3 of these, and I've got one of this guy. But the ability to get a little bit more of this, I spun all the Ashford silk, but I've still got about 20% of a bobbin left of this, so I could get a wee bit more of that one. Finish spinning it up. The marl to that. So that, I feel something coming on there. But it was so exciting, so good to get spinning again. So I'm now left the wheel out. I've actually pulled it out and put it back in the room here, because I need to have it available so I can do something with it. Because if I don't have it, I won't do it. So that's why it's there. So that's that. I'll put that over there. Now, the other thing I've been doing is getting ready for Cannes. And I like to knit a garment before every Knit August Nights. It's been a thing that I've done since forever. And the last few years I've often done love notes purely just to annoy Ethan Barclay Enu from Get Flocked, but our Ethan's is still in Canada, so he's not going to be there this year, and it's no fun knitting something to annoy him when he's not there. And I love you, darling, you know I love you. So this year I thought, and what I wanted to do, hold on, I'll just put that there before I show you, is I also have my Sable Society yarns, which, come here, there we go, my Sable Society yarns, which I get from my importer, a mill I've worked with. I only get a couple, well, I've had 3. I've got some hand dyeds, which I actually used last year for my project. So I did a love note and a hand dyed plus an Enigma mohair. I've got the Enigma mohair, which is mohair merino, very fine mohair in soft, gentle gelato colours. And then I have this guy, which is the Colour Helix. And it's got 2 different labels on it because I ran out of paper and I couldn't get the colour that I wanted. So you've got 2 different coloured labels, but that's okay. So I get this from these guys, and these are 2 different colours. This one is called Red Rocks, which is a new colour. I've not done this colour before. This is a new one that was available. This one's sort of quite brownish looking, but I've got another, see, there you go. And you can see I pulled the middle out of it. These are long, long, long 2-fold ombre prints, super long prints. So if you know Skeins yarns and you know the Pulse yarns, which are a 4-fold, these are a 2-fold, but essentially if Pulse had a 4-ply little brother, this is what it would be. It is Icelandic wool and nylon. So the mill have designed this as their stock, as their colour stock sock yarn. It, I think, has been designed to emulate another yarn, which I won't mention due to obvious reasons, because I don't want to get into trouble with those people. But if you know, you know. And it's a lovely yarn. So I bought some as, I've got some as a sample, bought some of them as a sample last year, knitted it up into a Niada. I bought 3 balls. I just loved it. It was so much softer than I expected. There goes the dog again. So much softer than I expected as a yarn. There we go, Poochie will just do that. As a yarn. And and I thought, right, I'm going to get this in and I'm going to sell this. And I did, and I sold out, essentially. I had enough left to make one final sample. So I thought, right, I want to make another sample, which I can wear as well. But what happens, because this is a fine, as you can see, look at that, a nice fine 4-ply or fingering weight. It's ideal for socks. So if you wanted to use this for socks, you can. That's its initial purpose. I like knitting socks like I like having a hole in my head. It's just not my jam. But it makes a great accessory yarn, a great garment yarn. So I wanted to knit it as a garment. Didn't really fancy knitting a really fine 4-ply fingering weight garment. So I double stranded it. These are the 2 colours I double stranded. This guy called Red Rocks and this guy called Brooklyn. So as you can see, they've got a sort of an orange familiarity to them. And whilst this is oranges, browns, and so yeah, it was essentially just oranges and browns, very, very sort of burnt earth. This one, which is called Brooklyn, is sort of oranges, turquoises, and the like. I'm having, there we go, the dog's getting up on the couch. So that's, you get up there, buddy. Quite a different beastie, and it's got turquoises, greens, oranges, yellows, ochres in it. So I thought the 2 would actually go well together. So I found a free pattern that I had sitting in my Ravelry library. Oh, what's going on here? I swatched it. Well, first off, I did the one thing that so many people don't do, and I did actually swatch it because I didn't know what I was going to get with this. Sorry, I'm just holding this again just in case he doesn't. There we go. And I did swatch. So there's my swatch. Oops. Turn that around the right way, Marie. There's my swatch. Look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo. So that's it with 4mm needle, 4.5mm needle down there. I've opted with the 4 and that gives me a 20, that's that one there, gives me blocked 22 stitch tension, which is classic old tension, but it's the fabric. That's what I'm looking for, is a fabric. So this is Red Rocks, which is the orangier one. They both are there, double-stranded. That's what it looked like. But I decided to add in the extra colour to make it a wee bit more dynamic. So that's what I did. I found just a straight raglan sleeve in the round, top-down sweater pattern, which was a freebie. I think it was a freebie for a time. It might be paid now. But it's irrelevant. It's whatever you wanted. And I was actually within a bull's roar, actually, of doing another, funnily enough, another love note and omitting the lace. But I didn't do it because whilst love note gives you a DK option, I don't like the gauge they use for it, and I have to modify even with gauge, and it just is a pain in the bum. Whereas the one that I had in stash was at a I think it was a 22 or 20 stitch gauge. So I can fudge that in terms of sizing. Not particularly thrilled at how the pattern is written, I will be honest, which is why, again, I'm not going to tell you the name of the pattern. It's just a stylistic thing. And I have to admit, when I was doing it, and because I wanted to get it started so that I could travel with it with the girls, and I even showed Libby and Lisa, and I went, am I going barking mad here or what? I got it figured out eventually. Well, yeah, I did get it figured out, but it's just a stylistic thing. So that's it there. So you can see that. Now that is not going to be a turtleneck. It's designed to actually roll down like that for the neckline. And to be quite honest with you, I'll make that decision right at the very end. I'll try it on as a turtleneck. If I like it as a turtleneck, I'll keep it. If I don't, I'll roll it down. So that's it there. There is the, you may have seen it, I put a picture up of this on in the socials, but that's it there. So that's those two very, very different yarns knitted together. So you can see that there is, because they're both very much in the mid palette, there's dominant, the brown is quite dominant in terms of, but I'm loving it. I'm really loving it. It's like, it feels like, okay, for the Kiwis, you will get this. The Aussies probably won't. And if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, look, we're going to go down memory lane here for a minute. If you grew up in New Zealand in the 70s, there was a carpet that used to be in a lot of commercial buildings, and often it would crop up in schools, and it looked a bit like this. Like the super crazy 1970s orangey, turquoisey, browny colour. Like it was this weird I don't know whether it was an X-Monster or what it was, but it was crazy town. Like crazy, it was, yeah. This is what this reminds me of. For me, this is really, colour is really nostalgic. But I'm super, super happy with it. And as you can see, it's very much a me colour. So that's where I'm at. So what I've done is I essentially used the pattern as a guideline for the neck and shoulder shaping, because it has got some short rows across the shoulder at the back. And that's where I didn't like the pattern writing, but I've got there. And there's the shaping through the shoulder. It is through the sleeve rather. It is designed to have heaps of positive ease. Once I actually essentially got to this part, I flagged the pattern and got rid of it. Didn't need it anymore. And I've just been working the measurements off my own measurements and just working it through. Got it to the point, and if it doesn't fit, I'm going to cry, but it should. So there you go. I've got to the point there because I wanted it a little bit more fitted upstairs. And I'm now working through the body down here. I'm actually adding in a subtle taper through the body, a taper outwards like an A-line, because I'm very pear-shaped. So I'm adding an A-line in, which I've done with a number of patterns before. If you followed me on Skeins Diaries, I've talked about that extensively. So it's a very subtle taper. It's like every 2 or 3 inches, I'm just adding in a wee gentle increase, just to give me a little bit more room around the bits that I don't want it to stick to. Then when I get it to a length that I'm happy with, which will probably be in the front, it'll probably be to the point that when I pop a ribbing on it, it'll just sit, it would end up to sit just below the end of the mummy tummy. I will then put in a sway back, which is a series of short rows. So then I actually make the back just, it works out to be about that much, the way I do it, about that much deeper in the back. And so then from the side, it gives you an angle like that. So this is the back, that's the front, and it gives you this sort of line here. It's already longer in the shoulder, and it just, when you are a little bit bigger, it gives just a nice little sort of silhouette, like a slimming silhouette. So I do that with a lot of the garments that I have, and it just helps, helps give the appearance that I'm a little bit more flattering, because I am very much quite a sizable pair, let's put it that way. And I love to knit, and I want to be able to wear all these things. So that's where I'm at with that bad boy. And so I'm at the rock and roll stage where it's just loads and 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 loads of stocking stitch, which means it's great for watching really trashy telly, which in my case at the moment is on Prime, called Ride and Die with Hannah Waddingham. And if you've ever watched Ted Lasso, you'll know who Hannah Waddingham is, but she is incredible. And Viola Davis. Viola Davis? No, Octavia Spencer. Octavia Spencer. Very funny. Great flick to watch. Yes, so that's what I'm up to at the moment. Oh, speaking of movies, the tickets are out now too for the Cannes movie. I forgot to mention that earlier. Anyone can go to that. You just need to go to the Globe Theatrette site for Ahuriri, the Globe Theatrette in Ahuriri. And if you just look up H is for Hawk, I think it's under coming soon, and you will see the link for the Cannes Lights Up movie, which is on Thursday the 28th of August. And yeah, you can just book that. I do it in partnership with them. They run all the tickets and do it that, but they just do that special lights up session for all my people coming to Cannes and anyone else that wants to see a really fantastic film and take me knitting with them. So that is available as well. I think that's everything for me. I've absolutely prattled on long enough. So thank you for coming on this journey with me. Do make sure, again, if you haven't liked, subscribed, or tick the little notification bells, or gone onto the database over at knitaugustnights.co.nz. Make sure you do all of those things, because it does actually help, and I will endeavour to get back to you at least twice. I'm setting this goal for myself, at least twice before Knit August Nights, and I can't wait. Just keep an eye on social so you can see what we're up to, and I hopefully, once I get the planning, once I get my venue locked down, I can start really actively talking about the next Knit Australia Nights. So then if you want to make a trip for that, whether you're in Australia and you want to travel, or you're here in New Zealand or further afield, you'll be able to do that too. But we had such a blast in Bendigo. I'm definitely going to do it again. Until then, take care, happy knitting, have a great weekend. I'm Marie Buskey. This is the Sable Society. See you later.